Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Phil Switch. I'm Phil Carew, and I'm joined by my fearless co-host, Brock Tamarino. The Phil Switch podcast is brought to you by Sal's Tire Caps. Sal's Tire Caps. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Unless you've got Sal's Tire Caps, then you don't give a crap about any of that. Once again, Sal's Tire Caps, sole sponsor of the Phil Switch podcast here. Thank you, Sal. Brock, I was thinking, sorry to get right into it here. I was thinking last week, Tactical Tim gave us some advice about Christmas decorations, how to put them up tactically, his whole process with that. And towards the end of that, I was asking Tactical Tim where he had gone, what happened to him. We haven't heard from him for a while. He had signed on to do some short videos for the Phil Switch, giving people some tactical advice. And the last one he did was about the Queen's Guard, and then we didn't hear from him for a long time. He kind of gave us the down low about what's happened to him, where he's been, so you can check out that last episode to find more out about that. But anyway, it got me thinking when he brought that up, if any of our listeners might have some type of royal blood in their family. You know what I'm saying, Brock?
Yeah, like through their family tree, through their genealogy. Yeah, I actually had a uncle that was really into that, doing genealogy. We didn't have any royalty per se in our family, but I was really into that and found all kinds of cool stuff and some, old celebrities we might have been related to, and just various things. I if I'm being honest, I wasn't really up to date, up to snuff on everything my uncle had found out about our family tree and history, but I know he was really into that. So, yeah, that could be kind of interesting, kind of seeing if any of our listeners have any, like you said, royal blood, any ties to anything like that. What about you, Phil? You have any royal blood?
Well, my grandpa was actually kind of into the whole genealogy thing, and he did quite a bit of work with that. And unfortunately, I was kind of in the same spot as you. I didn't really get into it, so I don't know, to be honest, about a lot of the research he did. But I do know that my mom told me at one point, when my grandpa was doing this stuff, that we had some type of tie to some type of royalty, and this is how terrible I actually paid attention, that we either were related to an Arabian prince or an Armenian prince. I know those are two vastly different things, but there you have it. So apparently he had found that in our bloodline somewhere. So yeah, you're talking to royalty, Brock. What can I tell you? I've not seen any of the fortunes of that royalty, but apparently you're talking to royalty. Of course, I don't know where that royalty's from, as I've already disclosed. So,
Oh wow, yeah, that's really something. I feel like I should maybe every time we come into the studio, maybe I should bow or something like that, a curtsy or stuff that obviously I'm not going to do. But that's great to know, and I'm glad that you paid so much attention to your grandpa. That's very respectful of you, and that you really have your family tree nailed down. Whether it's Armenian or Arabian. That's good. That's good that you are able to distinguish between those two things, Phil. So I'm sure everybody that's listening is impressed. I certainly know I am. And with that being said, of course, our producer's always one step ahead of us. He's got a caller ready. And okay, are we producer? Are we on silence right now? We're not. Okay. Well,
hey guys. Brock, I saw that you were, I could hear you stumbling, trying to gather your words. No, you weren't silent. I could hear the excitement in your voice that when I'm guessing you saw my name come up on a screen, Brock, and we all know that you're a reader. Brock, I just like to rib you. Anyway, guys, I'll introduce myself since Brock got a little starstruck there. Guys, it's Peter, Peter, never Pete. I'm not a Pete. Peter here. I heard your guys rambling something to do with the fact of royal blood. Do any of your listeners have royal blood flowing through their bodies? And guys, you've got one. You guys are probably going to be a little bit surprised by that. Maybe not. That's sarcasm. Of course, a little bit of sarcasm. But you guys probably guessed, if any of your listeners have some royal blood, it's going to be Peter. And it's there's many myths about royalty. One school of thought that is not a myth is that, with royalty came great education. Great education obviously brings about what, guys? What is great education? If someone's highly educated, what does it typically also come along with, guys? Brock?
I'm not answering your question. I'm not going to do it. I'm not interested in answering any of your questions you ask, because every time that you ask some question, Peter, it always comes back to some type of insult to the show, or insult towards Phil, or insult towards me, our intelligence. That's the whole game. So I'm not going to play your game.
Oh, Brock. Oh gosh, is that the way I come off? Oh gosh, that hurts me. that hurts my feelings. I'm sorry you didn't come up with the right answer, though. That's not a huge surprise.
See, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. You said I didn't make the answer, and then you said huge surprise, implying that I'm not smart. That's what you're trying to imply there.
No, Brock. I mean, oh, geez, that's not what I meant. Oh, that is not what I meant. What I meant is it's no surprise because it wasn't spoon fed. It wasn't spoon fed. That's what I meant. I just meant that it's a little more. It's a higher level of thinking. And anyway, I don't let's not belabor that issue. Okay, is it okay if we move on? Can everybody move on from here? Yeah, I think we can move on. It's fine, Peter. Just go. So, Peter, the question that we had posed to our listeners for this episode, as I said at the top, is if you have any royal blood in your family or your bloodline, and so if you could get on with that, I feel like there's some tension going on here between you and Brock. So if we could just get on with that, and then we could kind of keep progressing and moving, that would probably be good for everybody, I think. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I'll try to keep this short, sweet, and simple. just another joke, guys. Just another joke, okay? So yeah, we've done some extensive genealogy research in my family because we really want to know all the mechanisms that work throughout our family that have brought us to where we're at, how we've all seen such really great success in all of our careers. I mean, I could go on and on, but it's really a combination of what we call divine intervention into our lives that have got us to this blessed place. And we also feel like there has to be something in our blood. There has to be royalty just coursing through our veins. And so we did the research, and sure enough, there is royal ties to our family. Now, you guys might not realize this, but in very, very, very ancient times, almost back to where there's really no log of history. In fact, there isn't. My family, guys, my family and I actually had to do so much research that we had to start what they call new history. We had to go back so far, and then we had to, once we went back as far as we could, where there's all, written literature, things like this, then we had to go back and start restructuring. So much like you would say Phil and Brock, say that somebody were to take a stone and they would crush it down very, very fine. Okay. And there was a way that you could gather all those granules. You know what granules are, Brock?
Yeah, yes, I know what granules are.
Okay. Okay. Again, I'm just joking. I'm just ribbing. I'm ribbing. I was fairly confident you knew what granules meant. Anyway, the rock gets crushed down into all these granules. And if there are a way to collect all the granules and put them back together, now you would have the rock again, right? With a little bit of patience, super glue, you would have the entire rock again. Okay. Here's what happens though. In real life, if that rock gets crushed down to granules, then the wind is going to take some of those granules. So even if you collect what you think are most of them, right, there's still going to be granules, that are, here and there that you can't account for. So you have to, if you want to make the rock whole again, okay, guys, if you want to make the rock whole again, you have to create granules. And that's what we kind of did with my family history. We had to create, because we came to a place where, well, we see this fairly complete rock, but there's granules, right? Yes, that are obviously missing. So my family started pulling granules in, creating granules to make this rock whole and complete, to make it make sense. Okay. I do this with many of my psychiatric patients. I take their life in. Okay. Yeah. And of course they've forgotten some of their life because they're psychotic. And because I work with the hardest of the hardest patients. It's why I make such a lucrative living and income. But anyway, aside from that, it doesn't matter. I try not to talk about that stuff at all. Anyway, we saw that there were granules missing. So we thought we're going to put in place what makes sense to be there. And as destiny would have it, most of those, if not all of those missing granules, had direct ties to loyalty really across the globe. And, we've just felt very fortunate. We were able to capitalize on that. And I don't mean that in a negative connotation at all, of course. But we were able to capitalize on that. And since we could actually point back to these arrows that are going to different royalty and royal families, what we were able to do, guys, and this is such a great thing. This has been such a great thing for my family, our financial stability. Dare I say our success. What we've been able to do is we've been able to, through litigation, we've been able to go back and say, well, our family was connected to this family, and we actually deserve some of that royal money. See, yeah, some of the royal money, the royal properties, which we were willing to sell back to the, quote unquote, documented families. We were able to sell some of that property back to them at a reasonable price. I mean, we didn't go away empty-handed, and I feel like they felt like they got a pretty good deal. But we were able to do that, bring in some financial stability for our family. And it's only fair. Our family was connected with them, but kind of left by the wayside until we were able to go back and put those things in place in our family tree. So yeah, connected to a lot of royalty. I've got a whole list I could go. Do you guys want me to go through the whole list then extensively?
No, just a simple yes and no. I think that's good. Phil, are you satisfied with that answer?
Because we were just trying to see if you had any royalty in your bloodline, and it sounds like you do, Peter, and that's really awesome. So we'll mark one tally mark down for that as one of our listeners that had royal blood, and that'll be good. So we appreciate it. Thank you, Peter. Oh, guys, if you want, I've got a whole sheet here. I prepared it as soon as I heard you guys talking about royalty. I'm a fairly intelligent guy. I kind of figured where this show was going. You guys are Yeah, you keep it pretty simple here, so it's pretty easy to follow where things are going to end up going. But I can go through that whole list. I'd be willing to do that. Yeah. Now I really think I really think we're all good, Peter. So thank you. We'll move on to our next guest, and we look forward to hearing from you again. So sorry, Brock. Peter.
Yeah, I think our producer should. Why would you say that we're looking forward to bringing him on again? Why would you do that to me? Phil, sometimes I think that you need to think before you say stuff because now he's going to call back at another time and I'm going to have to listen to the whole Peter spiel again. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm Peter. And, I have a psychiatry degree and, my family's really rich and, I'm richer than you guys and I'm probably smarter than you guys. And, I think that you guys maybe shouldn't do this show, and maybe you guys are wasting your time. And I'll come back when I have my 4,000 page book on psychiatry written.
Excuse me, guys, still here. Guys, still here. Brock, I heard you. That was Brock, spot on impression. Spot on impression. I thought for a second, did I leave myself a voicemail that's just activated? Brock, that was terrific. Terrific. And Brock, the only thing I want to say that was a little funny, Brock, is you said I've got a 4,000 page book. Brock. Okay, 4,000 is quite the challenge. Okay, I'm shooting for about 3,500. A 3,500 page book on psychiatry, how it's been in my life, how it's helped me to blossom, how my expertise have helped numerous countless people through their lives. And Brock, I'm willing to reach out to you if there's any psychiatric help. Brock, some people say that and it's like a joke, but if there's any psychiatric help or like some way I can steer or guide you, you let me know, Brock, and I will do all that I can. I will do all that I can for you, Brock. Okay. I love you guys. I'm really hanging up this time, Brock. Impersonate away. They always say that what is it called? Oh geez, what is it called? Mimicry or something is flattery, something like that. it's a common saying, so I'm not very familiar with it. But anyway, guys, thank you for having me on. Always a pleasure. And Brock, spoiler alert, I'll be calling back sometime here in future episodes whenever I get a chance. All right, hey, thank you, Peter. Appreciate it. Brock, Brock, you're gonna have to work. You're gonna have to work through this Peter issue. I feel like, and I'm not even a psychiatrist, but I feel like Peter is a representation of somebody else that you knew in the past that now Peter is conjuring up, because Peter just always brings out salty Brock. So anyway, let's go to the next listener, and we're probably going to have time for one more listener. Maybe he won't take that long. I don't know. So, Gil, you are on the Phil switch. We're checking to see if any of our listeners have any royal blood or any, royal blood in their family tree. Gil, go ahead. You're on.
Hi, guys. Yes, as a matter of fact, I do have some royal blood. It was a surprise to me. I feel like it would be a surprise to anyone. So here's how it came about, okay? All my family was together. We were together one day, and it's not any big secret. Whenever you find out things like this in your family, obviously you have to have done some type of genealogical research, right, guys? You guys are all familiar with this. I heard you guys talking about it before. I don't know what Peter was talking about, but you guys know that there has to be some type of research that goes into it. Well, all my family is kind of into it. So over the span of, I don't know, months, maybe even up to a year, we all worked very focused and together as a family to really try to track down our genealogy and where we came from as a people. And so, as you might guess, we started out first trying to figure out the building blocks. So we were all able to go back together till, oh geez, probably, so I'll speak from my perspective, probably back to my great, 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 great grandparents. Now, I was able to find a picture of my great, great, great grandparents, and I can tell you right now, it was, her name was Grandma Tootie, and she had quite the booty, which explains where I got my booty from. So, and it was such a laugh, guys. Sometimes I can't even think about it without laughing. But we just started calling her Grandma Tootie Booty. That was our thing as soon as we found her in our genealogy, and we called her TB. But then we thought, well, that's probably not good for that time because tuberculosis. So we just started calling her Grandma Tootie Booty, and we just got a great laugh out of that. But you guys didn't have us come on to talk about Grandma Tootie Booty. So anyway, as we went through our genealogy, we ended up going back further and further, as you would, because it's impossible to go forward. But we went back further and further into our genealogy, and we quickly discovered, well, not quickly, like I said, this was over the span of months to possibly a year. I think my Aunt Rose, I think she has the date written down when we started, because she's silly like that. But I didn't write that down, but she probably has. Do you guys want me to call her real quick to see if I can find the exact date?
No, we're just, it's okay. You don't have to give us the exact date. We're just trying to find out about the whole royal blood thing.
Okay. I'll get you guys that date sometime. I'll call back sometime later with it. But anyway, so we went back and back and back, and we ended up finding out that while we weren't necessarily directly related to royalty, like we weren't descendants of royalty, some of our family members actually worked at the royal palace, or like the castle, whatever it would have been considered at that time. And they actually, well, there is some conspiracy because they work there, but there was also questions of whether one of them might have had relations with somebody from the royal family. Now, we don't think that resulted in a child per se, but we think there might have been relations.
And by relations, I'm assuming you mean,
yeah, sexual relations. I assume that's where you were going, Brock. Anyway, yeah, so, but aside from that, they worked in the castle or at the royal palace, or like we like to say, our royal abode. We like to say that sometimes. We'll joke around and we'll say, hey, I bet Grandma Tootie Booty spent a lot of time at the royal abode. And we all get just a great laugh. In fact, my Aunt Rose, she'll start laughing so hard that she'll first, her dentures will get tossed right out. And then sometimes, depending, because we joke about that all the time, sometimes depending if she's eating, something will get shot out of her nose. And it's really quite a good laugh, guys. We just laugh and laugh, and we say, Grandma Tootie Booty, I bet she fell down the stairs and bounced right on both butt cheeks. We'll say that to each other, and it's so funny. And Aunt Rose is like, oh, you guys, every time, I think we're gonna be serious about all this genealogy stuff. And then here comes Gil. Because I'm the big jokester. She'll say, here comes Gil, and he's talking about Grandma Tootie Booty and her butt cheeks. And we all start laughing because if Aunt Rose says butt cheeks, we know that she thinks it's funny. So that's basically where our royal line went back to, or just not our royal line, but our royal connection, I guess we could say that. It goes back to where maybe some of our ancestors were working for royalty. And that's pretty good. That's pretty special to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool that you guys could go back and connect it in that way, you know, even though you're not actually related to royalty or you don't have royal blood, as Peter said, bursting through your veins or whatever, you guys can go back and make that connection that, hey, we, ancestors of ours were directly connected or, socially connected, maybe, however, I don't know, however you look at that, to some royalty. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. Thanks, Gil. We appreciate you calling in as always.
Oh, that's no problem, guys. Anytime. I mean, I'm just really hanging out. I can go find that date too to get back with you guys.
No, that's okay. We actually got to wrap this up. So, Gil, we appreciate you coming on. Peter, we appreciate you coming on. Sorry, we didn't get to more people. Peter had quite the story. So, anyway, guys, as always, thanks for listening. You guys can also catch me with Kaplowitz Media on the First and 15th podcast. If you guys would like to reach out to the Phil Switch, any questions, comments, otherwise, you can do that through email. So that's I can't even talk right now. That's thephilswitch@gmail.com. Again, that's thephilswitch@gmail.com. You guys can also leave comments on YouTube, Rumble. If you want to rate and review this podcast, that would be awesome. That I heard that helps out podcast. I have no idea if that's true or not. Anyway, guys, we wish you all a great week, and we will talk to you soon here at the Phil Switch.